Shalom. Shalom to the brethren. And what up to everybody else? This is your Op, Brandon Lewis. And this is the Lunar Solar Shabbat Scripture Study, where we search the scriptures looking for ways to apply them to life that we might become perfect. Too long have we read a scripture here and a scripture there, creating whole doctrine, never knowing the fullness of the context of those scriptures, the fullness and the context of those chapters and those books. And we have ignorantly made them say things that they did not say, made them intend things that they did not intend. May we now read them in the fullness, in the context that they were meant to be read in, and know what they were intended to teach us. May the Most High be with us as we read through His Word, as we place them in their proper context, the proper people in whom they were written about, and the proper time frames in which they were written about. This is the time of the rebuilding of the nation, not the rebuilding of temples made with men's hands, but the temples made with the hands and the ruach of the Creator of the heavens and the earth. May we be as we ought to be. May we know what we ought to know. May we have eyes that see. May we have ears that hear. May we build up what needs to be built upon. And may we tear down what needs to be torn down. Come together in love, peace, and unity of the brethren, of the mind, and of the heart. In the name of the Son, of the Creator of the heavens and the earth. Shalom.
Revelation, red horse. Faith without works is just a dead corpse. Find a body, you gon' need it. Every member matters. Jacob saw angels ascending and descending ladders. Valley of the dry bones, where's the mortuary? I'm astounded at the folly, it's extraordinary. Prodigal son, if I slip, pray take me back. Done trapping, but I still keep a 80 pack. Ain't no fallout big enough to keep me from forgiving. It's cause your unbelief, you ain't received the healing. Cause I went that cell like Joseph when he got accused. This holy ground before you enter, come up out them shoes. From the strong tower, spying devils blocks away. CIA, FBI, collecting dossiers. Send them to the drawing board when I draw my sword. Certain problems I can't avoid, I follow him, I'm not the Lord. Doing drugs don't make you cool, they fooled you once again. They steal squares on their lean, I call them trapezoids or rhombus. Die for this country, You must have lost every ounce of brain function for real. Before you stray away, I pray you know the risk. Fear and faith, it can't coexist. All the nonsense. Yeah, they got me bothered, always on the charger, unconnected to the Father. I got the power. 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 I got it. I got it. I got the power. I got the power. He got me power. He got me power. I got the power. I got the power. I got the power. I got the juice. Pumping my batteries full of the truth. Stop out a demon and spiritual boost. Locate the spot where the Nephilim camp and have Michael the angel drop spiritual nukes. I will go mute. Death to the tomb, found in the life, that's on my soul, that's a tsunami, that's a typhoon, fruit of the spirit, not fruit of the loan, planting your seed in the riches of soils, and I watch as it grow, then it sprouted, it blown, demons that step, they get swept with the broom, the force I possess got me stop when it move, hot as a rock up the top of the moon, I strike for the 12 like the clock when it's known, strip that I kick, it gon' come with a bone. Before you stray away, I pray you know the risk. Fear and faith, it can't coexist. All the nonsense. Yeah, they got me bothered, always on the charger, unconnected to the Father. I got the power. 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 I got it. I got it. I got the power. I got the power. He got me power. He got me power. I got the power. I got the power.
All right, shalom, shalom to the brethren. What up to everybody else? This is Yag B. Lou. This is the Lunar Solar Shabbat Scripture Study. So Shabbat Shalom to all of those of you that know about such things. For those of you that don't pay it no attention. Just give me your attention. Mic check, mic check. Something ain't right. Mic check, mic check. Mic check, mic check. There we go. We back. We back in the building. Hold on. I think I got some issues on my camera. This ain't the right camera. This camera's not wanting to work with me. All right. While I figure out what's going on with my camera, let's talk about the fact of what we're going to be discussing today. And what we are going to be discussing today. One second. Got all kind of going on. Mic check, mic check, mic check. Okay. It's always something brewing. It's always something brewing. Mic check. My camera is not working right. This is crazy. There we go. Hey, now we in there. Now we cooking with everything that we need, brethren. Okay, shalom, shalom. We in here. So, what we're going to be talking about today is what is a king and a priest according to scripture. And the reason I wanted to bring this out is a lot of our brothers, right, and sisters, mind you, like to hearken on several scriptures, which I'm going to bring up to you here in a moment, about being a king and a priest. And I think it's very important that we bring these things out and go into what these things mean, right? Shout out to my sis Zakaria, who always said, words mean things, okay? And we we here on this podcast like to point that out and bring that out. So let me get my screen shared up how it need to be shared up. The entire screen. Okay. Let me get this down. I hope y'all are having a tube day. Tube day. A tube Layla. A good day and a good night. Whenever you should catch this. I could just figure out how to do this. Okay, here we go. Let's get rolling. Hit that like button for those of you who are joining me. Don't rob your brother of his likes and his subscriptions. So, one of the first places we hear about a nation of kings and priests is here in Exodus chapter 19 in verse 6. But we shall start at verse 4. Exodus chapter 19, starting at verse 4. Ye have seen what I did unto the Egyptians, and how I bare you on eagle's wings, and brought you unto myself. Now, therefore, if ye will obey my voice indeed, and keep my covenant, then ye shall be a peculiar treasure unto me above all people. For all the Arats or earth is mine. And ye shall be unto me a kingdom or a malchus of priests. The Hebrew word is Kohan or Kohanim. You shall be unto me a kingdom of priests and a holy or Kodash nation. These are the words which thou speak unto the children of Yasharal. This is the mighty master speaking unto Moshe, telling him what to tell the nation of Yasharal. It's one of the first times we see this mentioning of the entire nation holding the office of a Kohan. Now let's go to 1 Peter chapter 2. Let's get on down there. I passed it, didn't I? No, I didn't. 1 Peter chapter 2. It says verse 9. But of course, we like to add a little extra on it. Starting at 7. 1 Peter chapter 2, verse 7 to verse 9. Unto you, therefore, which believe, he is precious. But unto them which be disobedient, the stone which the builders disallowed, the same is made the head of the corner. Here we see a constant thing about obedience unto the Creator or unto the master, right? Disobedient to his instructions, to his guidance, is pending upon quote unquote blessings and quote unquote curses. If you obey, there are gifts or quote unquote blessings in store or barakas in store for you. But if you disobey, there is curses and judgments for you, right? And a stone of stumbling and a rock of offense, even to them which stumble at the word. If you're stumbling, that means you're not really quite getting it. And you got to get it. They say, he who believes on him, as the scripture have said, you got to be able to get it. All of those of you who are in this state of confusion, I just can't get the word. I just can't understand. Well, you better get that fixed real quick because it's not good. Because if you can't get it, that means you can't comprehend the instructions. You can't comprehend the instructions. That means you can't keep the instructions. And if you can't comprehend and if you can't keep, then you're not going to believe what that makes you. That makes you this next part right here, disobedient. And we just talked about the obeying of the instructions, which you get, and the disobeying of the instructions, which you get. So you don't want to be disobedient, brethren. There's a Kohan or a Malak that is king, right? And a stone of stumbling and a rock of offense, even to them which stumble at the word, being disobedient whereunto also they were appointed. But ye, these are those that are not disobedient. These are the ones who hear. These are the ones that do, right? The hearing and the doing of the word, the hearing and the doing of the law, the hearing and the doing of the instructions. Now, for those of you that have understanding, those three things are one and the same. The word, the law, and the instructions is all the same thing. But ye are a chosen generation, a royal priesthood, a Kodash nation. We just read this. A peculiar people. We just read this as well. That ye should show forth the praises of him who hath called you out of darkness. That's out of disobedience. Called you out of disobedience unto what? Unto obedience. And into his marvelous light. The light of what? What did David say the light was? He said his law, his instructions are a light unto his steps. Called you unto his instructions that you might have an understanding, that you might hear, and that you might do. Because you know what? Some can't hear. Some he won't let hear. But he said, let them who have an ear, let them hear. To those who have an eyes, let them see. Let them see what? Let them see the light. It's all combined. It's all connected. Okay, we got another one. This is the one everybody knows. This is the one everybody knows. Yeah, this they favorite. This they one. Every time I want to say something about boxing, somebody want to pull Revelations chapter 1, verse 6 out they tail. This is the one they know. This is the one they familiar with. This is the one they try to use when you tell them about feast days. You tell them about a bunch of things they probably ought not participate. This is what they say. One of the things, along with rehearsing the righteous acts, but we're not going to get into that. Revelations 1, verse 6. But of course, we're going to start up a couple tastes, give you some context. Let's start at 3. Baruch is he that readeth, and they that hear the words of this prophecy or this knob, and keep those things which are written therein. For the time is at hand. John or Yehukanan, to the 7 assemblies which are in Asia. Favor be unto you. Let me blow this up for you. Favor be unto you, and peace from him which is, and which was, and which is to come, and from the 7 Ruachim which are before his throne. And, hold on now, hey, all you Trinitarians out there, this is the end of the book. Do you see a separation? Do you see a separation of one that got 7 Ruachim before his throne? And then it says, and that's a big old A right there. That's a big one. That's a daisy. And from Yahushua HaMashiach, who is the fruit, the trustworthy witness, and the first begotten of the dead, and the prince of the Malachim of the Arats, unto him that ahabed us or loved us, and washed us from our sins in his own blood, and hath made us, Hold on now. Made us. What? Those that believe on him, what are they? Because if you believe, that means you follow instruction. Because he said, why do you say you love me and you don't do what I say? How can you believe me if you don't do what I say? So if you believe on him, then this applies to you. If you believe, you've heard and you've done according to his instructions. And what has he been instructed? What did he instruct? He instructed what his father instructed him to instruct. And his father didn't change up anything, right? It's the same word, same law, same instruction. Because it said he changed not. Okay? So, and hath made us. Same thing he promised back in Exodus. Same thing he promised. Hath made us Malachim and Kohanim unto the master and his Abba. To him be the esteem and dominion forever and ever. These ain't the only places that is. Because one is a nation of kings and priests. I want to say it's somewhere else. But anyway, that is a couple incidences where uh this whole concept of the Israelites or the believers being kings and priests, right? That's where we at with it. That's what we're talking about today. So let's get into the English definition of a king. Let's find out here. A male monarch of a major territorial unit, one whose position is hereditary and who rules for life. A paramount chief. This is good. This is good. Okay. And this also says the mighty one and Hamashiach, God and Christ, right? One that holds a preeminent position. This is more along the lines of where we at with it. Okay. A preeminent position. Very important. Here we go. A chief among competitors. Chief among all the sons of men is what we're going to find out is a part of this whole thing. Right? Now, here we go. A principal piece of color in chess, having the power to move ordinarily. Right? But we're not going to keep going into all that. Let's look into a priest here. I'm talking about a Catholic priest. What happened? Something ain't go right. Priest, someone who is authorized to perform the sacred rites of a religion, especially as a mediatory agent between humans and a mighty one. We see, we're not going to act like as if the Most High is the only one who has priests. He is not. As we know, Baal had priests, right? Hasatan has priests. We know this. So, a mediatory agent between humans and their deity, Almighty One, right? So, that's where we at with that. Now, let's get into some scripture of it, and then we're going to get into some Abri. Okay, we're going to get into some Abri that might make the scripture make a little bit more sense to you. Okay, shout out to everybody tuning in. Shout out to you. Okay, let's get into this First Samuel is what we're gonna start about priests. Now, in these scriptures, we gonna get things speaking to a priest and a king, right? It's gonna touch on both of them. But this is 2 Samuel chapter 2. And we gonna hit the whole thing for general purposes. Okay. 2 Samuel chapter 2. get this out the way. And Hannah prayed. Hannah is the mother of Samuel, the book's namesake. Okay. And Hannah prayed and said, my heart rejoiceth in the mighty master. Mine horn is exalted in the mighty master. My mouth is enlarged over mine enemies, because I rejoice in thy salvation. There is none, Kodash, as the mighty master, for there is none beside thee, neither is there any rock like our power. Talk no more so exceeding proudly. Let not arrogancy come out of your mouth. For the mighty master is a power of knowledge, and by him actions are weighed. The bows of the mighty men are broken, and they that stumbled are girded with strength. They that were full have hired out themselves for bread, and they that were hungry ceased. So that the barren hath borne 7, and she that hath many children is waxed feeble. The mighty master killeth and maketh alive. He bringeth down to the grave and bringeth up. He's a malak. He's a super malak, if you will. The mighty master maketh poor and maketh rich, and bringeth low and lifteth up. He raises up the poor of the dust, and lifteth up the beggar from the dunghill, to set them among princes, and to make them inherit the throne of esteem. For the pillars of the Arats are the mighty masters, and he hath set the world upon them. And these are the ultimate characteristics of a malak. Now, he can't be a priest because there's no one to mediate for. He institutes the priesthood, but he is the highest character of malak that there ever could be, right? So all of his duties, some kings may represent or have a part of in him. And you'll see this as we get into the characteristics of a malak. He will keep the feet of his Kadash ones, and the wicked shall be silent in darkness, for by strength shall no man prevail, and the adversaries of the mighty master shall be broken to pieces. Out of Shemaim shall he thunder upon them. The mighty master shall judge the ends of the earth, and he shall give strength unto his king, and exalt the horn of his anointed. Todayah, Todayah, mighty awesome Abba. And Elkanah went to Ramah to his house. This is the husband of Hannah who just got done praising the Most High Yah. This is also the father of Samuel, for those of you that don't know. And the child did minister unto the mighty master before Eli the Kohan. And the sons of Eli were sons of Belial. This is the one known as the devil, Hasatan, all of these things, right? Also, the prince of demons. Some would even call him the king of demons, right? They knew not the mighty master. So you see how even though you might have an earthly father, your actions tells who is your quote unquote spiritual father, right? These men, because their actions were wicked, right? These men, because their actions were wicked, they became the sons of Belial. But the righteous ones, the Kodash ones, right? These people here, what do you say? The feet of his quote unquote saints, their actions would make them the sons of the mighty master, right? The sons of Yah, the sons of the power. As most would say, the sons of quote unquote God, right? Because the sons of Belial knew not the mighty master. That would means the sons of the mighty master would therefore know him. So that is one of the first things we're going to see once we get into the Hebrew of what a Kohan is, right? They know, they have a knowledge, they have an intimacy with the mighty master. That's one of the first things. Before you get into anything else, you got to have an intimate relationship. That's also one of the characteristics of the king, right? It says, and the priest's custom with the people was that when any man offered sacrifice, the priest's servant came while the flesh was in seething with a flesh hook of 3 teeth in his hand, and he struck it into the pan or kettle or cauldron or pot. All that the flesh hook brought up, the priest took for himself. So they did in Shiloh unto all the Israelites that came thither. Also, before they burnt the fat, the priest's servant came and said to the man that sacrificed, give flesh to roast for the priest, for he will not have sodden flesh of thee, but raw. And if any man saith unto him, let them not fail to burn the fat presently, and then take as much as thy soul desireth, then he would answer him, nay, but thou shalt give it to me raw. Now, thou shalt give it to me now. And if not, I will take it by force. So here we see a thing about instruction. For those of you that don't know, the priest did not work. The priest's sole job was to do the offices of the Most High, right? Which involve working in the temple, and involve living in all the different towns of the Israelites, assisting them in sacrificing and assisting them in purity laws, right? Because with certain things, you'll be clean or unclean. The priests mediated these things with them. If you go into the Old Testament, you'll see that it was certain issues of the flesh, they'd have to go and see a priest or have to bring him an offering to offer for them. So this is what priests did all day, because the people was doing so much, wrong. It kept the priests working all day. The priests offering offerings all day, every day. They ain't got time to work, right? So because they didn't work, it was mandated that they get a portion of certain things of the people, right? For free. They ain't got to work for, it's just going to be given to them. Part of what they got was they got a portion of the sacrifices brought before the Most High. So in this instance, the Most High said, when they come to offer an offering up on this altar, you take a flesh hook and you get to swipe at some meat. Whatever that hook catch, that's what you get to keep and eat. That's yours. That's free. That's for your labor. You cool. If your flesh hook don't catch what you want it to catch, then that's just too bad, right? So here, Eli's son said, you know what? That ain't enough for me. I want more than what I've been getting when I use this flesh hook. So not only are they, not doing that, but they're going to these men before they even bring the offering. The Most High say, this what you get after the offering is made. They want to go to the men before the men even make the offering and say, give me this and give me that. You see how they're breaking instruction? See how they're not following instruction? So now they fall into penalty for that. When you don't heed instruction, judgment comes. So as we should understand that in dealing with a priest or a Kohan, instruction is key. Following of instruction is key. Relationship is key, and following of instruction is key. You got to have it. Okay? Let's see if my Hawk in here. He's not. But okay. Yes, instruction is key. Where are we? So these men are pressing the people out their sacrifices. If you don't give it to me, I'm gonna take it by force. Let's see how that worked out for them. Wherefore the sin of the young men was very great before the mighty master, for men abhorred the offering of the master. So now, whereas a person might have had a reverence and had a respect for offering something to the Most High, now they don't even want to go because they being pressed. Hey man, I ain't going up there, man. Them dudes ain't finna beat me up, man. So now you got the Israelites abhorring the offering, and Eli's son abhors the offering because they disrespecting it. They going against the grain. They going against the instructions. So disobedience can be replaced with abhorring. And another word for abhorred is hate. Okay? So you might be thinking you love the Most High by doing a thing. And he said that's not in line with my instructions. Why do you hate me? You'll be hate. I didn't say that I hate you. He said, yeah, you do if you go against my instructions. Why do you say you love me and don't do what I say? So if loving me goes hand in hand with doing what I say, what does hate go hand in hand with? For those of you doing things out of order and out of context. I'm just saying, think about it. But Samuel ministered before the master, being a child girded with a linen ephod. Moreover, his mother made him a little coat and brought it to him from year to year when she came up with her husband to offer the yearly sacrifice. And Eli baruched Elkanah his wife and said, the mighty master give thee seed of this woman for the loan which is lent to the mighty master. And they went unto their own home. And the mighty master visited Hannah so that she conceived and bare 3 sons and 2 daughters. And the child Samuel grew before the mighty master. Had a 5-piece real quick. Now Eli was very old and heard all that his sons did unto Yasharah, and how they lay with the women that assembled at the door of the tabernacle of the congregation. What? We got priests being greedy and priests committing whoredoms. Don't we see this same thing today? Don't we see priests sleeping with the women in their congregation? Sleeping with married women? Don't we see them taking bribes? Don't we see them pressing the people out of their money? Tugging on their heartstrings, making them feel guilty? Don't we see this today? So is that righteous or is that wicked? Right? Now Eli is speaking to his sons about what they're doing. For those of you that don't know who Eli is in context, okay? The priests are set up in sections, okay? There is what's called a high priest. That's the high Kohan, right? Now, the tribe of Levi consisted of many different men, right? But one particular lineage could only be high priests and serve in the temple. That was the sons of Levi. Now, the other parts of Levi that didn't come from Aaron did all the other jobs. But the high Kohan, and I want to say all of those who served in the inner parts of the temple came from Aaron's line. Now, Eli held the office of a high Kohan. That's the highest priest it is of all the Levites. The high Kohan, right? So that's Eli's job. Eli has gotten old, so he has allowed his son to do a lot of the ruling amongst the people, because the high Kohan was seen as an authoritarian figure with the Israelites, and he judged and made a lot of things. Uh, uh, he uh, he was seen as an important person to bring things to. So Eli, because he's old, let his son run certain other things or whatever, and his son's acting a fool. Right, there we go. And he said unto them, why do ye do such things? For I hear of your evil dealings by all this people. Nay, my sons, for it is no good report that I hear. Ye make the mighty master's people to transgress. This is another thing that the office of a priest or a Kohan is not supposed to do. They're supposed to be a mediator, like Moses was, pleading for the people, right? Causing the people to consider their transgressions, causing the people to turn from any wickedness they might be in to get on good terms with the Most High. That's why Hamashiach is very important. And these Old Testament only people, I know oftentimes we ask them, well, what do you do for forgiveness of sins? Are you offering sacrifices and whatnot? But one of the more key terms is not so much about sacrificing, it's about who is your mediator. Because Hamashiach ain't talking for everybody. He's only talking for those that believe on him and that do what he say. So if you don't believe on him and not doing what he say, then he's not your mediator. And the problem you have is that the office of the high Kohan in the earth has been vacated because the Levites have been vacated. The temple where the high Kohan went into the Kadashim and Kadashims to plead for the people has been destroyed. So who is your mediator? OT only brethren. I don't even know if I call you brethren, but OT only kinsmen. You know what I'm saying? What's going on with boy? Well, I hope you ain't lost none of my cards. Okay. Okay, get out of here then. No. Come on. Come on. Anyway, I was talking to my son. He's running around with my credit cards. I had to put a stop to that. If one man sin against another, the judge shall judge him. But if a man sin against the mighty master, who shall entreat for him? You supposed to be the entreaters, right? Notwithstanding, they hearken unto the voice of their father, because the mighty master would slay them. And the child Samuel grew and was in favor both with the mighty master and also with men. Ooh, that means he was Israel. That means he was Yasharal. He had power with the mighty master and power with men. And the only way you get power with the mighty master and power with men is to be upright. When you're upright, because you can get power with men and be wicked, but you can't get power with the Most High and be wicked. It don't work like that. You can get favor with men and be wicked, but you can't get favor with the Most High and be wicked. So here the term Israel is exclusive. Some people say it don't mean power with the creating power with men. It mean upright. Well, how you gonna get power with the Most High and power with men if you're not? But anyway, and there came a man of the power unto Eli and said unto him, thus saith the mighty master. Do you see how this is also significant and crazy, because I never considered it really. A man of Yah, right? It's not saying where this man come from, what tribe he from, what nation of people he from. The Most High usually speaks to the high Kohan, as you'll see with Samuel. Samuel gets his messages from the mighty master. So Eli is in such a bad way. The master's not talking to Eli. He wouldn't talk to somebody else to come tell Eli something. That's bad. When the Most High lose your phone number, it don't go good. That's what happened with King David. Most High lost his number. He had to call Nathan to come holler at him. You know what I'm saying? It don't go good when y'all having conversations. All of a sudden, you ain't getting through. He ain't calling you. He calling somebody else to tell you about something that he could have told you himself. It's rough. It's rough. And there came a man of Yah unto Eli and said unto him, Thus saith the mighty master, Did I plainly appear unto the house of thy father when they were in Egypt in Pharaoh's house? And did I choose him out of all the tribes of Yasharal to be my Kohan, to offer up upon my offer? He's telling you what is the office of a Kohan, right? To offer upon mine altar, to burn incense, to wear an ephod before me, and to give. And did I give unto the house of thy father all the offerings made by fire of the children of Yasharal? Wherefore, wherefore is also why. Also why. It's like a hip way of saying why. Why kick ye at my sacrifice and at my offering, which I have commanded in my habitation, and honorest thy sons above me, to make yourselves fat with the chiefest of all the offerings of Yasharal, my people? Wherefore, the mighty master power of Yasharal said, I said indeed that thy house and the house of thy father should walk before me forever. But now the mighty master said, Be it far from me, for them that honor me will I honor, and they that despise me shall be lightly esteemed. Behold, the days come that I will cut off thine arm and the arm of thy father's house, that there shall not be an old man in thine house, and thou shalt see an enemy in my habitation. In all the wealth which Yah shall give Yasharal, there shall not be an old man in thine house forever. And the man of thine whom I shall not cut off from mine altar shall be to consume thine eyes and to grieve thine heart, and all the increase of thine house shall die in the flower of their age. That's wild. That's a curse. All the men that's gonna come from you, all your grandkids, great grandkids, great 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 grandkids are not gonna live out their days. They're gonna die young. Well, that's a curse right there, boy. That is a curse. To know all your grandchildren is not gonna live to be old because of something you did. That is ooh. See, this office of a priest is very, when you talk, we kings, we priests, listen, this is what you're buying. You know what old boy said on ATL when old boy was trying to get some dope and say, he said, man, you know this grown man business, on it's grown man business. And he's not playing with you. Curses come with this. And the man of thine whom I shall not cut off from mine altar shall be to consume thine eyes and to grieve thine heart, and all the increase of thine house shall die in the flower of the age. Not only are they gonna die, but he said they gonna grieve your heart. They gonna consume your eyes. This is while they living. So you shall find no pleasure in them, and then they gonna die. This is rough. And this shall be a sign unto thee that shall come upon thy two sons, on Hophni and Phinehas. In one day they shall die, both of them. And I will raise me up a trustworthy Kohan that shall do according to that which is in mine heart and in mine hand. And I will build him a sure house, and he shall walk before mine anointed forever. This is what you get when you're on point. Okay, we just saw what you get when you cursed. This is what you get when you're on point. Okay? when you walk according to that which is in the heart of the Most High and in his mind. It said, I will build him a sure house. Whereas before, his house is cursed, right? Because he didn't do according to his heart and his mind. He was cursed and won't live out his days. It's unsure, shaky, quaky, not a firm foundation. On the flip side, when you do what's right, it say, I will build him a sure house. That's sure, that's steadfast, that's firm, that's on point. Right? I will build him a sure foundation, and he shall walk before mine anointed forever. That sounds like eternal life, don't it? And it shall come to pass that everyone that is left in thine house shall come and crouch to him. Ooh, shall make his enemies his footstool. They shall see the esteem of the righteous, and the righteous gonna get to see the punishment of the wicked. That everyone that is left in thine house shall come and crouch to him for a piece of silver and a morsel of bread, and shall say, Put me, I pray thee, into one of the priest's offices, that I may eat a piece of bread. They're going to be like Esau, trying to get their spot back. Trying to get their spot back. Listen, if only I could return to my former estate and be what I should have been. That office of a Kohan, boy, that thing tight. That thing tight. So hold on. Let's see what we got here. Somebody commenting. Shout out to my Kafa. He said, boom. Shakalaka. You know what I'm saying? Shakalaka in there for you one time. But yeah, that's what we have as a king. Let's check out the Hebraic of it. This is what I said, Kohan, right? This comes from this came from the term priest from Genesis chapter 14, verse 18. And Melchizedek, king of Salem, brought forth bread and wine, and he was the priest of the Most High. Power. So the term priest right there, as we go into it, is where is it? H3548 Kohan. Right? We ain't lied to you. I say Kohan. You know, you can Kohan, tomato, right? But these letters that you see here that we're gonna check out, right? The letters from the right to the left is Mem, right? Mem. I don't know why I didn't do that right there. Mem, Hey, right? Mem, Hey, and Lamed. No, I'm tripping. It's Kaf, Kaf, Ha, and Noon. I'm sorry. I just gave you the Hebrew letters for Malak. But it's Kaf, Ha, Noon, right? Kaf, Ha, Noon. Kaf, Ha, Noon. Kaf, Ha, Noon. Let's get into the characteristics, right? The reason I point this stuff out is a lot of people say, you don't need Hebrew to be saved and all this all stuff. And to be perfectly honest, you don't, because it expresses itself in the text. So what the word, the abrit, or the Hebrew word and its characteristics will tell you, you can find this in scripture. Okay? You could read in context of scripture and see what these words will tell you. So you don't need it. You don't have to know it to be saved, but it can help and can add more to an understanding that you might have on a lower level without it, right? It can increase you, okay? Instead of having a half a tank of gas, you can have a full tank or a quarter. Or instead of having 3/4 of a tank, you have a full, you know, but you're still gonna get to where you're going. Either way. Can't hurt. Okay, so cough. Let's get into the cough. What is the characteristics of the cough? A palm of a hand, right? A wing, to allow, to cover, to open the hand, the power to suppress or lift up. This is very important. Okay, we say the Kohan is the mediator between man and the creator, right? So, uh, uh, his hands are important. Got to have clean hands, mind you. You know, the priest is all about being clean. You go to the offices of a priest, they had to clean everything. You know, clean their hands, clean their clothes, clean it. It's all about being clean. And the reason that was is because above all people, they got to be the cleanest. So all these people want to be, we the kings, we priests. Are you clean? Are you clean? I'm not talking about with, gain and tide and all that. We're not necessarily talking about that, but of course, you had to be immaculate. You had to be of a good presentation, but it was mainly referring to them cleaning on the outside was a reference to how clean they need to be on the inside. Okay. Uh to open hand, right? To open the hand is also about aiding, right? Aid and service, right? So a Kohan also helping and aiding is also ministry. Mic check, mic check. Okay. Thought I was out for a second. But it also has to do with ministering, right? Hamashiach had told the 12, he said, let the greatest among you be a servant and a minister. That's almost like saying, let the greatest among you be a Kohan. I think keep going out like that. What is going on? Let the greatest among you be a Kohan. Be a Kaf. Be one that's willing to open the hand. Right? Right? Suppress your own flesh or suppress those that seek to scatter your flock. Suppress those that seek to harm your flock. Right? Suppress suppress the wrath of the Most High against your people. What is going on? Mic check, mic check, mic check, mic check. Okay. So, mic check. Okay. Suppress the wrath of the Most High against your people by causing them to turn from their transgressions. Okay, cough. That's the third one. Uh, that's the first one. So now let's go to let's go to I think that's high. Hey, to behold or to show, right? To hold or to show. Behold, right? Behold, to see, to watch, right? To show or to reveal. So you have a kaf, which is a helping and assisting, right? Helping and assisting what? Assisting in revelation, right? Showing and assisting in the revelation. Right? Uh, let's go to the next letter. That's the lamet. Right? I believe it's the lamet. Uh, no, it's not the lamet. I'm tripping. That's the noon. That is the noon. So let's go to the noon and see what we got here. I know what you said. That ain't what that letter look like. Well, when you scroll down here and you see this noon right here, you see it looks a little bit more like it. Okay. Looks a little more like what you're looking for. Okay. Okay, noon, a fish, to sprout, to spread, offspring, descendant, action, life, heir to the throne, faithfulness or trustworthiness, right? Uh, it represents continuance, right? Continuing on. It's an heir, um, you know, to sprout, to spread. So a priest is helping and assisting the people in seeing the instructions of the Most High so that they can continue, right? Because if you don't see it, if you don't get it, if you don't understand it, as we've talked about previously, you're going to die. You're going to be punished. You have before you life and death. Keeping instructions is life, not keeping instructions is death. So the Kohan, the priest, is to assist the people in beholding or receiving or being revealed the instructions of the Creator so that they can continue, so that they could continue, so that they could sprout, so that they could spread, so that they could descend. Because you saw that the descendants of Eli was cursed. And you see that the house of Samuel was going to be Baruch. Now his sons, sad note, his sons went on to sin, which we're gonna get into here in a second when we read we're gonna read First Samuel chapter 8. Okay. His sons got to acting. They got to acting a fool. As a matter of fact, let's get on into that. Let's get into First Samuel chapter 8. Let's find out about a Malak, because we know what a Kohan is to do. Let's find out what a Malak is to do and what a Malak ain't to do as well, right? Because it's good to know what you should do, but you also need to know what you shouldn't do. So let's get on into it. The book of First Samuel chapter 8. And it came to pass when Samuel was old that he made his sons judges over Yasharal. Now the name of the firstborn was Yoel, and the name of his second Abiah. They were judges in Beersheba, and his sons walked not in his ways, but turned aside after lucre, and took bribes, and perverted judgment. So as we talked about earlier about Eli's sons and what they did, right? Hold on a second. Son, calm down. And we had also talked about modern day quote unquote priests or people who sit in the seats of Kohans, meaning pastors and certain mores, even imams and whatnot, right? People that claim to be mediators between man and the Most High, people that claim to be those who will lead the people and instruct the people or ha the people, right? To 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 re to reveal or to cause the people to behold the Most High, right? The people that claim to do this, they tend to have these same characteristics, okay? The office is littered with people that get into it that take on these ways because it is a position of power. It is a position of influence amongst the people. And a lot of people don't know how to take that. We see that today with a lot of brothers and sisters that end up blowing up, that end up coming into fame. They end up going off, as they say. And it's for this reason, because of all of the esteem that comes with the office. And we ought to be, instead of getting puffed up and, braggadocious, we ought to be fearful of the fame and of the notoriety and be shamefaced and be meek and be humble and constantly take the attention off of us and point to the Most High. This is what all the great ones did. This is what Moshe did. This is what King David did. If any king ever, I'm gonna tell you something. A lot of kings after King David got haughty and got cocky. If any king was to brag or boast, David should have been the one to brag and boast them up. Like Paul said, hey, listen, I'm a Hebrew. He said, I speak as a fool. You know what I'm talking about? But I'm this, I'm that, I'm this, I'm that. Listen, David, listen, the man killed so many people when he was done. Solomon ain't have to fight nobody. There was nobody left to fight because David killed them all. And he had all 12 tribes under him. Imagine having all the black men in the NFL, all the black men in the NBA, all the ones in every professional sport, all the wrestlers, the biggest, baddest black men on the planet under this man's rule and reign. And you know what he said? He said, man, I ain't nothing. I ain't nobody. I'm just a servant. I'm just the man was like he was nothing, but had all the power that any king could hope to have. Mic check, mic check. Why is this not sounding like it needs to sound? Mic check, mic check. Mic check, mic check. Mic check. I hope y'all hearing this, man. Are y'all hearing me? Am I cutting out? Am I cutting out? Okay. Has it ever cut out on me though? All right, come on in here then. K4 Bonds in the building. What up, Op? I can't hear you. It says audio only. I don't know what's going on. You got to come in another way. But yeah, man, King David, man, was meek with all that power, and that's what we have to be. So if you serving under anybody that ain't meek and ain't humble, that don't constantly point to the Most High and like put all the esteem and attention off of himself and point to the Most High, you might want to get out from under that man. Cause can't nothing good come from following such a man, right? Cause he's headed. I don't know why this thing is messing up like this. He is headed for destruction, and he gonna take you there as well. Uh, mic check, mic check. I don't know what's going on. I'm not sounding like I need to sound. Mic check, mic, mic, mic. Mic check. There we go. Oh man. Okay. So let's get back into this Samuel, into this First Samuel chapter 8. And his sons walked not in his ways, but turned aside after lucre, and took bribes, and perverted judgment. You know why they perverted judgment? Because they took bribes, right? Part of the job of these men, they were judges, right? To judge in a matter. But if you gave them a little something on the side, they'd rule in your favor. This is not of the Most High. The Most High told us to right rule, right? Amongst each other, to have balanced scales, balanced weights, to do only what's right and not lean to the right or to the left, but to be straight. This is not what Samuel's sons did. Hold on, huh? Okay. My brother has suggested that we'll read Malachi chapter 2. So that's what we're gonna do. Uh I don't know if he meant the whole chapter, but knowing him, he probably does intend us to read the whole chapter. Malachi chapter 2. I guess it's talking about the Kohan, office of a Kohan here. Let me see if he can hop in. All right, Malachi chapter 2. Oh, now ye Kohanim, this commandment is for you. If you will not hear, and if you will not lay it to heart to give esteem unto my name, saith the Master of hosts, I will even send a curse upon you, and I will curse your Barakas. Yea, I have cursed them already, because ye do not lay it to heart. Listen, you've been cursed, but if you don't get right, you're going to continue to be. See, that's the thing about it. Behold, I will corrupt your seed and spread dung upon your faces, even the dung of your solemn feast, and one shall take you away with it. And ye shall know that I have sent this commandment unto you, that my covenant might be with Levi, saith the Master of hosts. My covenant was with him of life and peace, and I gave them to him for the fear wherewith he feared me, and was afraid before my name. We're going to read shortly, we're going to read the testament of Levi, and we'll hear about his mindset towards the Most High. What was this here? Oh, something else. My covenant was with him of life and peace, and I gave them to him for the fear wherewith he feared me, and was afraid before my name. Obviously, he have not given us a ruach of fear and all this old stuff. Listen, context is what you need, man. Certain places you need plenty of it. When it comes to his name, when it comes to following his instructions, you need plenty of fear. You know what people say? I ain't scared of nothing. See, that's your problem. That's your problem. Haughty, outstretched neck. You're going to end up with a bald head. The law of truth was in his mouth, and iniquity was not found in his lips. Oh, I'm sorry. Hold on. The law of truth was in his mouth, and iniquity was not found in his lips. He walked with me in peace and equity, and did turn many away from iniquity. So this is, we see, we have to understand that whenever the Most High gives credit for something to a certain person or a certain group of individuals, that's what he expects from us. Okay? He don't have to say, let the law of truth be in your mouth. Let iniquity not be found in your lip. No, when he's praising this attribute in somebody, that's what you ought to say. You know what? I need to do that. If he like that, I need to do that. That's even with relationships. You gotta, your spouse is like, man, I sure need me some shoes. You should say, you know what? I need to get them some shoes because they mentioned that they need some. So I'm gonna meet the need. You ain't gonna believe it. I'm gonna have an open palm. Open palm. I'm gonna assist. I'm gonna aid. I'm gonna help. I'm gonna be a coordinator in my house. You get what I'm saying? Th- This type of stuff is not just for one place, not just in a nation. It's 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 something that you embody, that you put out these characteristics everywhere you go and in everything that you do. We ain't been taught this enough for it to be concrete in us. But it's time we start putting this stuff out here so that you can start to consider it as important enough that you could come to perfect it. Okay? We're not saying, you know, you gonna get it automatically. No, no, it don't work like that. You know? But as long as you got the mind to be obedient and the mind to work it, that's what you need, right? To choose you this day. I might not get it next week, but you know what? I'm not gonna worry about next week. I'm gonna worry about today. Let's make sure today I am a Kohan. Let's make sure today that I have willing hands and I'm aiding and assisting in all of those in whom I might encounter to behold, right? Or to cause to be revealed the esteem or the instructions, the character, the wants, the desires of the Creator so that they can continue, so that they can descend, so that they will be Baruched and not cursed. The office of a Kohan, brethren. So when you're around here claiming we kings, we priests, when you're talking about the priest part, you got to put this part on. You know what I'm saying? Put it on. For the priest's lips should keep knowledge, and they should seek the law at his mouth. For he is the messenger of the master of hosts. This is your job, Yasharal. We are a nation of kings and priests to the nations. Well, is this what the nation said about you? Is this what they said? And even then, you ain't got to bring up everybody into it. What about you personally? Do people look for you for knowledge? Do they look for you to hear the law of the Most High? Do they look for you about Scripture? And these ain't just talking about a couple people that you know. We're talking about you being a common, like this being common with you. You know, are you known for this? See? And this is what we ought to desire, to live in such a way, not just being what they call them people, a precepticon and all that. We're not just talking about you can pull up chapter and verse. Anybody could do that. TD Jakes could probably do that. That ain't stop them from going to puffy parties and whatnot. So you got to live it as well. You got to manifest it. And let's just be mindful of that going forward, right? For the Kohanim lips should keep knowledge, and they should seek the law at his mouth, for he is the messenger of the master of hosts. But ye are departed out of the way. Ye have caused many to stumble at the law. Ye have corrupted the covenant of Levi, saith the master of hosts. Therefore have I also made you contemptible and base before all the people, according as ye have not kept my ways, but have been partial in the law. Have we not all one Father? Hath not one power created us? Why do we deal treacherously every man against his brother by profaning the covenant of our fathers? Listen, that's deep. Some brothers had touched on this the other day about hating your brothers, meaning a lot of different things, not just an emotion, right? But even by your actions, you could hate them. If you're not gonna give them life, if you're not gonna hide them, if you're not gonna cause them to behold or to reveal the Most High to them, you hate them. You hate them. You know why? Cause if they don't got it, what they getting? Death, hell. So why you ain't giving it to them? See, it's a lot of stuff we don't consider. I've been guilty. I've been guilty. Still guilty in a lot of situations. And a lot of times I don't bring stuff up. I'll be like, man, they ain't gonna listen, man. They ain't gonna want to hear it, man. They ain't on that. It ain't, that's not really for us to say. If nothing else, our character and our conversation ought to be what ministers. Sometimes you get around worldly people and start putting on a little worldliness yourself. Sometimes you talk around them like you wouldn't talk around your brethren. Sometimes you dress around them like you wouldn't dress around your brethren. And it's like we got to start being the same way all the time. You know, this is even this is even on myself. This is even a rebuke on myself. It happens because we don't want to be guilty of hate. So how do you love the Most High whom you've never seen, but hate your brother whom you see every day? We might say, "Well, I ain't got no hate in my heart for my brother." Well, you ain't living right in front of your brother. You might say, "Man, I love everybody." Well, when you was out in the public acting a fool, you wasn't loving your brother. You know why? Because uh, you profane the covenant of our father. You went against. You fell short in front of these people. Got them profaning. Got them not considering. Got them thinking y'all something to play with. Y'all something to be wicked around. And this is really, the more I talk, the more I'm getting slashed up here. I'm bleeding. Somebody help me. For real. This thing is this thing is deep. That's why he'll say, "Depart from me, I never knew you." Because you wouldn't all the time. You was most of the time. You was sometimes. He wants you all the time. And we take pride in the fact that we don't know nobody that's all the time. I don't think he cares, brethren, because it's somebody that's all the time. And they the ones that condemn you, whether you know them or not. Now, I don't know them. You still condemned. You still condemned. But Todah to the Abba for bringing out lessons like this, for bringing out words like this, that we could consider this stuff, man, and repent for one for it, and then go forward and be better representatives, because that's what we is, representatives. How you repping when it's repping time? You know what I'm talking about? When it's repping time, what you doing? See if my brother back in here. He's not back. He's laughing. Unless you want to. Oh, okay, okay. Well, feel free, Ock, to come back in here. And if anybody else would like to come on the live, if you're listening or whatever, you could come on in. I could send you a link or whatever so that you can come on in here. Hold on one second. 136, January 12th. What's January 12th at? Friday. This Friday? It's next Friday. All right. Yeah. Okay, so I'm sorry. I got caught up doing something. So let's get back to First Samuel. Matter of fact, I've been on this for quite some time now. Um, let's cut it a little short here. Let's go to the book of the Testament of Levi. We just read about Yah's covenant with Levi. Levi is the father, the patriarch of the Levites, right? He is the patriarch of the Levites. So all of those that are called Levites would be his children. So here is a prophetic book. This is a prophetic book of him speaking to his children. Now, in the book, he's speaking to his literal children, and he's also speaking futuristically to his future children. And those of you that claim to be priests should give ear as well. So, this is the Testament of Levi. You can find this at Sacred Text, sacred-text.com, right? Testament of Levi, chapter 4. That's where we're at. Levi shows his wisdom, shows how wisdom survives destruction. He has no use for scornful people. And now, my children, I command you, fear the master, your power, with your heart, with your whole heart, and walk in simplicity according to all his law. And do ye also teach your children letters, that they may have understanding all their life, reading unceasingly the law of the master. For everyone that knoweth the law of the master shall be honored, and shall not be a stranger, whithersoever he goeth. Hey, listen, got to be on you. Yea, many friends shall he gain, more than his parents, and many men shall desire to serve him and to hear the law from his mouth. This is what we just talked about. You see how all these scriptures go together, right? We just read up here in Malachi that this law, well, is that the people should desire to hear the law at his mouth. What he said? For the priest's lips should keep knowledge, and they should seek the law at his mouth, for he is the messenger of the master of hosts. And then we come back here and we see the same thing. The many friends he gained more than his parents. Many men shall desire to serve him and to hear the law from his mouth, right? Work righteousness. These are instructions. Work righteousness, therefore, my children, upon the earth, that ye may have it as a treasure in Shamayim. Hamashiach told him to do what? Build ye treasures in Shamayim, quote unquote heaven, right? And sow two things in your souls, that ye may find them in your life. But if ye sow evil things, ye shall reap every trouble and affliction. These are the curses that come with not heeding the instruction that the Most High talked about earlier as well. Get wisdom in the fear of the Most High with diligence. For though there be a leading into captivity, and cities and lands be destroyed, and gold and silver and every possession perish, the wisdom of the wise naught can take away, save the blindness of ungodliness and the callousness that comes from sin. He said that's the only thing that could hurt wisdom, is that you become blind through ungodliness, that you become callous because of sin. That's the only thing kill wisdom. Nothing else kill it. And all of this is self-affliction. The only thing that kills wisdom is a person's uh uh own will. A person's own will kills it. Can't nobody else blindness and ungodliness kill your wisdom. Can't nobody else callousness of sin kill your wisdom. What can kill your wisdom? Blindness to ungodliness. This is also saying being irreverent to the Most High. Those of you, you know, I'm guilty of this, that have slipped away from doing certain things you used to do to the Most High. You used to pray at a certain time, you used to pray every day. You used to read scripture all the time, all day or whatever. You did certain things to the Most High. These were sowing seeds, sowing tube to your souls, right? Maybe you've gotten away from that. And in your mind, you say, well, I ain't went back to the world. I ain't really did nothing. But you don't realize that you could be sowing evil things because you're getting slack. Because you're getting slack. You're getting a little blind. You're getting a little blind. You know why? Now, you might think ungodly is too strong a term for you. You might say, I'm not ungodly. But see, this term ungodly means irreverent towards the Most High. You don't reverence him anymore, right? And this is what many of us may do, not even knowing it, because we busy with life, with children, we busy with marriages, we busy with work, we busy with things, and we becoming blind to the fact that we don't reverence him how we should or how we used to. And then before you know it, you might start doing stuff. You might start sinning. You might start becoming irreverent to the instructions, which is sin. And then you become callous to it. You don't even realize it. And then it don't even bother you. You're just doing it. Before you know it, you can slip all the way into the rabbit hole. Slip into the rabbit hole. Verse 9, for if one keep oneself from these evil things, then even among his enemies shall wisdom be a esteem to him. And in a strange country, a fatherland. And in the midst of foes shall prove a friend. Wisdom is going to be these things. Be wise. Shout out to my Yosef Yeshua, or Joseph Joshua, as he's known. He did a whole thing, or is still doing a whole thing on wisdom. And every time you see him, that's what he's going to speak about. He's going to speak about wisdom and how it relates to life, how it relates to the Most High, how it relates to his son, because it's very key. And here Levi is telling you that wisdom is very key. And it'll keep you. It'll hold you. It'll maintain you. 10. Whosoever teaches noble things and does them. Ooh, yeah, yeah. Don't only teach. Gotta do them. Shall be enthroned with kings. We're going to talk about these kings in a minute. As also was Joseph, my brother. Wherefore, my children, I have learnt that at the end of the ages ye will transgress against the master, stretching out your hands to wickedness against him, and to all the Gentiles shall ye become a scorn. Most High said, if you listen to me, you going to be esteemed among the nations, and they're going to look to you for the law. They're going to look to you for wisdom because you're going to have it. If that's what you're seeking after, that's what you're going to get. But he said, no, you're going to do wickedly, and you're not going to have no wisdom. And instead of being an esteem, instead of them praising you, they're going to scorn you. They're all going to laugh at you. All right. For our father, Yasharal, is pure from the transgressions of the chief priests, who shall lay their hands upon the Savior of the world. This is what the Levites did, the scribes and the Pharisees and all that and whatnot. A lot of them was Levites. For as the Shemaim is purer in the master's sight than the earth, so shall be ye, the lights of Yasharal. Ha! You know what you need to behold and to have revealed? You need light. And these are the light bearers. The light bearers of Yasharal, purer than all the Gentiles. But if ye be darkened through transgressions, what therefore will all the Gentiles do living in blindness? You supposed to be the one that helped them see. How they gonna see if you can't see? Nation of kings and priests? How they gonna see if you can't see? Yea, ye shall bring a curse upon our race, because the light of the law which was given for the lighten every man, this ye desire to destroy by teaching commandments contrary to the ordinances of the Creator. The offerings of the master ye shall rob. We just read, they robbed it. We just read this. They literally robbed it. Come up off of it, or we gonna take it. They literally robbed it. Everybody get down but the money. And from his portion shall ye steal choice portions. We just read this. They literally took from the offering. And we have this still going on to this day. Maybe not meat offerings and whatnot and sacrifices, but they're getting offerings of money. See, his offerings was meant to go to help others. The priest got a piece of that money, and the poor and the needy got a piece. I mean, of that offering. And the poor and the needy got a piece. Likewise, the money taken up today. Mic check, mic check. The money, the money, wire or something. Okay. The money taken up today is meant to be given to the poor and the needy. Now, a portion of it can go to pastor, right? If he has devoted himself wholly, like the Levites did. They ain't got no side job. They don't sell insurance on the side. All they do is minister. So if that's what he do, then yes, he ought to be taken care of. If he has given himself wholly to the service of the people ought to take care of him. There ain't nothing wrong with that. Even today. But most people ain't on that. They got side job. They make more money doing other stuff than they make in the church. What you need the people to take care of you for? What the people got to buy you a car for? And you make enough money to buy your own car. See, the Levites didn't have money to get their own. Eating them contemptuously with harlots. Cause what you gotta do? What you gonna do with something you didn't rob from the most? If you didn't rob from the Most High, you're not finna go do nothing righteous with it. You finna go and commit more abominations. So you gonna go lay with harlots and buy them stuff. That's how a lot of these women got new Birkin bags and outfits and all this old stuff. They getting it from men who done robbed others. It's videos about pastors being caught in hotel rooms and all kind of stuff. This stuff is still happening. It says, and out of covetousness ye shall teach the commandments of the master. Wedded women shall ye pollute. It's videos of pastors being caught with married women. Wedded women shall ye pollute, and the virgins of Jerusalem shall ye defile. They sleeping with young girls too, sleeping with teenagers too. And with harlots and adulteresses shall ye be joined. For those of you that don't know, granted, many men in Yasharal did sleep with prostitutes, but for the priests, it was commanded that they not do it, especially. Okay? They couldn't sleep with prostitutes. Now, some would say it'd be under advisement that none men do it, but some men did, and when nothing said about it. But they was specifically, the priests specifically couldn't do it. I don't have that scripture on hand, offhand, but it's definitely in there. All right. And with harlots and adulteresses shall ye be joined, and the daughters of the Gentiles shall ye take to wife. I want to say that they was commanded not to do this as well, purifying them with an unlawful purification, taking your offices and perverting them. You supposed to be purifying the people. You over here purifying Gentiles over here just doing the most. And your union shall be like unto Sodom and Gomorrah. And ye shall be puffed up because of your priesthood. The priests bear rule by their means, and the people love to have it so. Right? And so ye shall be puffed up because of your priesthood, lifting yourselves up against men, and not only so, but also against the commands of the Most High. The instructions was life and death. Doing them was life, not doing them was death. And you gonna preach against. Listen, what do you expect? For ye shall contemn the Kadash things with jest and laughter. And this might be a little slap to me too. A little slap to me too. This thing is serious, man. It's very, very serious, man. So Salak Abba if I've, you know, made it not seem so. Therefore, the temple which the master shall choose shall be laid waste through your uncleanness. And ye shall be captives throughout all nations, and ye shall be an abomination unto them, and ye shall receive reproach and everlasting shame from the righteous judgment of the Most High. And all who hate you shall rejoice at your destruction. And if you were not to receive kindness through Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, our fathers, not one of our seed should be left upon the earth. And now I have learnt that for 70 weeks ye shall go astray and profane the priesthood and pollute the sacrifices, and ye shall make void the law and set at naught the words of the prophets by evil perverseness. And ye shall persecute righteous men, hate the reverent. Oh, well, I'm trying to get in there. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Shalom.
Shalom, beloved. Can I be heard?
Yep. We got you. Definitely got you
Okay,
now.
cool. Go ahead. I'll continue. I was just gonna share that Leviticus 21, I believe, is where you find the instructions that Most High gave to Louis, the priest, that they only can marry virgins of the nation or whatever. So
Okay.
yeah.
Let's
But,
go there
but,
real
but yeah,
quick.
you can. Okay.
Leviticus what?
I believe it's Leviticus 21.
Okay. For time's sake, I would like to read this, but I mean, all of it. But.
It don't have to be the whole thing. I think Leviticus 21. I think it's 13. Leviticus 21. Let me make sure. Let me go to it.
Oh yeah, there it is right there. And ye shall take a wife in her virginity, a widow or a divorced woman or profane or an harlot. These shall he not take, but he shall take a virgin of his own people to wife. See, specifically it said you can't take a harlot. You know, as we know, other people could take a harlot because somebody married Rahab, didn't it?
And Hosea married Most High gave him instructions to go marry a harlot as well.
Right.
Hosea the prophet did not, but yeah.
See, he would not have told a Luim to do that. They can't. He wouldn't go against his own word without. So yeah, so that yeah, appreciate that. Uh, and ye shall persecute righteous men and hate the godly, and the words of the faithful ye shall abhor. And a man who reneweth the law in the power of the Most High ye shall call a deceiver. And at last ye shall rush upon him to slay him, not knowing his dignity, taking innocent blood through wickedness upon your heads. And your
Shalak, yeah. Oh, Shalak. Listen, they said that a person that reneweth the law in the power of the Most High, you shall call a deceiver. So they lying on him, the one that's walking in nobility of truth. They calling him a deceiver, just like they did to Mashiach as well.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just saying. I just wanted to pinpoint that. I didn't want that to go fast over people's head, but I yield. I go ahead. Let it flow.
Not only are they not going to do good or to, but they will hate those who do and mock him and smear his name. And your Kodash places shall be laid waste even to the ground. So they worship that temple over everybody else. You know why? Because it's like that's they office. They was the ones in esteem at the temple. Everybody else would just go and visit and whatnot. But to them, that's their headquarters. That's their spot. That's what made them special. They're like, hey, I'm taking that. That's that's why they were like, what you mean it's coming down in 3 days? What you mean? I'm like, yeah, it's out of there. Definitely out of there. And ye shall have no place that is clean, but ye shall be among the Gentiles a curse and a dispersion until he shall again visit you, and in pity shall receive you through Amunah and water. Odaya. So that's what we got for the office of a priest, right? Everybody wants to be a priest. Nobody wants to be a priest. But let's get into the office of a king. For this, we are going to 1 Samuel chapter 8 and continuing on, right? Because Samuel's sons messed up, right? They was priests and judges, but they messed up. So the Most High appointed over them. Well, no. The people got tired of Samuel's sons and asked for a king. And that's where we are going to pick up at. It's not Samuel 8. Is it? There we go. That 2 Samuel 8 and 19 says, nevertheless, the people refused to obey the voice of Samuel, and they said, nay, but we will have a king over us, that we also may be like all the nations, and that our king may judge us and go out before us and fight our battles. And Samuel heard all the words of the people, and he rehearsed them in the ears of the master. See that word rehearse.
That's the recant. Recount. That's the speak of. That's that. There it is again. Speak of. Yeah.
And the master said to Samuel, hearken unto their voice and make them a king. And Samuel said unto the men of Yasharal, go ye every man in his city. So, it's up here. I want to go to where he said, tell them what a king is going to do to them. Said unto Samuel, hearken unto the voice of the okay. 2 Samuel 8 and 9. Now therefore hearken unto their voice, howbeit yet protest solemnly unto them, and show them the manner of a king that shall reign over them. And Samuel told all the words of the master, the mighty master, unto the people that asked of him a king. And he said, this will be the manner of a king that shall reign over you. He will take your sons and appoint them for himself, for his chariots, and to be his horsemen. And some shall run before his chariots. And he will appoint him captives over thousands and captains over fifties. And he will set them to ear his ground. He will set them to ear his ground, and to reap his harvest, and make his instruments of war and instruments of his chariots. And he will take your daughters to be confectionaries and to be cooks and to be bakers. And he will take your fields and your vineyards and your olive yards, even the best of them and give them to his servants. And he will take the tenth of your seed and of your vineyards and give to his officers and to his servants. And he will take your men servants and your maid servants and your goodliest young men and your asses and put them to his work. He will take the tenth of your sheep, and ye shall be his servants, and ye shall cry out in the day because of your king, which ye shall have chosen you, and the mighty master will not hear you in that day. So, as we see this authority of the king of government over the people, right? A governing, a sending forth, a instructing, a one that brings forth discipline, right? One who takes much but don't really give as much as he might take in certain areas, right? Now a righteous king, he gives, right? But he also takes because the office of his government commands it. You want a king? A king is gonna have an army, right? And in that army, you gotta have soldiers. The soldiers gotta have weapons. You know, they gotta have horses. They gotta have things. He gotta put people to that work. So the king has to have wisdom and able to do all these things and to do all these things rightly, to govern rightly, right? The people have issues and problems and, you know, grievances that they gonna bring to the king. The king got to be able to judge between these things and to judge them rightly. The king have to be able to punish and uphold judgment, right? What he says has to go. So he has to have in place judges and officers of the law that work his judgment for him. Otherwise, ain't nobody gonna listen. King said, "Do this." We ain't listening to that nigga. No, you got to be a, a firm hand. You got to have power with you, right? So, uh, let's look into the Abrit or the Hebrew of this king. It is Malak. Malek. They say Melech in the Yiddish pronunciation. We say Malak, right? Uh, Malak. Malak consists of mic check, mic check, mic check, mic check. I don't know why my wire keep doing this. Uh, Malak consists of the mem, the pardon me, the mem, the lamet, and the noon. I want to say the mem, the lamet, and the noon. That's the mem, the lamet, and the noon. So the mem, as we know, as we've spoken of on this podcast quite a lot, you know, water, mighty, massive, chaos, right? Also, on the flip side, you know, it could also mean peace, stability, you know, ease, comfort, shalom, even, right? But that's to the positive of the mem. So the king to the positive can bring peace, bring stability, bring order, right? And as the Most High pointed out to us, on the flip side, he could bring chaos. So much chaos to the point that the people gonna cry out against him. This king, he tripping. He doing it. Help us. He said, no, man, listen, that's what you wanted. What you wanted. You had the real king with you. You didn't want it. You had the righteous one with you. You wanted something that's liable to fall, liable to fade. And that's what you got for yourself. What was it? What we got here? Like Eli's son. Okay. Okay. So yeah. Uh.
That was an old post. That was
Yeah.
way earlier talking about Eli's son when they was talking about how they slept with the women,
Yeah. Yeah.
took
Yeah.
took
Yeah.
took the choice portion and took the meat. And that last letter is the final cough. Cough Sophie. That's not a noon, but it's cough. Is that what you were talking about earlier? I was
Good looking
busy
out.
doing something,
Good
so I
looking
can't
out.
really get
Yeah.
to it. Yeah.
I appreciate you. All right. What's the cough? So the cough, as we just hold on. That means the other one was a noon then. That's the cough. The palm of the hand cover. So hold on. If it was the noon, did I do the fish sprout spread offspring on the priest? I
For
did.
Kohan, yeah. Yeah, you did.
Okay. I want to make sure. All right. So the palm of the hand. Uh oh, that's cause cough is in Kohan too. I'm tripping. That's why cough is the start of Kohan. So it's in there too. So we have the same hand, the same assistance, the same, the effort, work going forward, power, the power to suppress or to lift up. As we said, the characteristics of the king, peace, chaos, right? He can suppress you and grieve you to the point you crying out, or he can lift you up to the point you in shalom. Everything's going good when he's in proper rulership, right? So, that's the last one, right? So you got Mem, Lamet. Let's see. Mem, Lamet, Kaf. That's what we got. Mem, Lamet, Kaf. And they all three right there. All three right there together. Mem, Lamet, Kaf. So Lamet is the staff, cattle, control, prod, urge forward, go forward, teach, learn, tongue, right? So this king is in this position, right, to control, and his mindset and his character is going to determine how this control is handled. Is he gonna lead to peace and stability, or is he gonna lead to chaos in the men, right? Is he going to lift up, or is he going to suppress? You know, is he going to have a hand in righteousness or a hand in wickedness? Assistance to righteousness or assistance to wickedness? As we read about different kings over Yasharal and over Yehuda, we see some kings cause the people to stray. The people might not even have been on some of the stuff that happened, but because the king was on it, it caused the people to get on it. This is the position of a king, is the influence over the people. So one is in more spiritual matters, the other one is in carnal matters, right? The flesh and the ruach can be displayed as the king and the priest. Rule them in the flesh, rule them in the ruach. See, that's what the heathen don't mind you ruling in the ruach. They cool with that. They'll get with that. You gonna talk about ruling in the flesh though? Hey, hold on now. Hold on now. You don't sign up for all that now. ain't sign up to be nobody's servant. They ain't sign up to be nobody's confectionery and all this old stuff. What he said? What he said it was gonna be? And he said it was gonna do to him. I said, they shall take your men servants and your maid servants and your goodliest men and your asses and put them to work. What the Gentiles said. Now I ain't sign up for all that. Now I'm a Christian. We're not gonna be doing all that. Yes, you are. Yes, you are heathen, but you're gonna be ruled by some right. Check, mic check. You're gonna be ruled by some righteous kings and some righteous names. See, that's gonna be the difference between us, right? But a lot of them don't want to see that day, right? So when we claim this, when we claim these offices, we can't do it in pride. We can't do it out of bragging. We got to know the fullness of them and we got to walk in them, right? So that we hold them rightly and bring esteem to our Abba. You there? Okay. So,
Yeah,
okay,
I'm here.
okay. Hold on. Let's read this Testament of Judah. For those of you that don't know, Judah is where the Most High said all of the kings of Yasharal would come from. They would come from Yehuda, right? Now, granted, you had uh two kingdoms at one point, um, but that was like that was not what y'all intended for them to have. Okay, so in his intention, well, no, matter of fact, that covenant came with King David. But that's crazy that after he made that covenant with David, kings did come from somewhere else. But I think, okay, in Jerusalem, in his chosen city, in his chosen place and everything, that's what Yehuda inherited. So that's really the one. Now, the other nation went off and had them a king or whatever from out of Ephraim, I want to say. But uh the main kings, the true kings came from Yehuda. Okay. Yehuda is the father of all of the quote unquote, well, all of Judah, right? So this is him speaking to his children, speaking prophetically to his children about what they should and shouldn't do and what will happen to them in the latter times, which is what we are in. So this is the Testament of Judah. You can find this in sacredtext.com. Here we go. He counsels against wine and lust as twin evils, for he who is drunken reverenceth no man. Verse 13. Starting at verse 1. And now I command you, my children, hearken to Yehuda, your father, your Abba, and keep my sayings, to perform all the ordinances of the master, and to obey the commands of the Most High, and walk not after your lusts, nor in the imaginations of your thoughts and haughtiness of heart, and esteem not in the deeds and strength of your youth. For this also is evil in the eyes of the master. Since I also esteemed that in wars no comely woman's face ever enticed me, and reproved Reuben my brother concerning Bilhah, the wife of my Abba, the spirits of jealousy and fornication arrayed themselves against me, until I lay with Bathshua the Canaanite, and Tamar, who was a spouse to my sons. For I said to my father in law, I will take counsel with my father, and so will I take thy daughter. And he was unwilling, but showed me a boundless store of gold in his daughter's behalf, for he was a king. And he adorned her with gold and pearls, and caused her to pour out wine for us, that the feast for us at the feast with the beauty of women. And the wine turned aside my eyes, and pleasure blinded my heart. And I became enamored of, and I lay with her, and transgressed the commandment of the master and the commandment of my abbas, and I took her to wife. And the master rewarded me according to the imagination of my heart, inasmuch as I had no joy in her children. So here, let's look at this. Uh, he went against instruction. Okay, it wasn't a suggestion that you not marry a Canaanite; it was a command. And whenever you go against instruction, judgment is next. You know, and they said the commandment or instruction of the master and the commandment and instruction of my fathers. I took her to wife. So it is for a king of Malak, as we said, for the Kohan to follow instructions. Nobody's getting past it. It's Yehuda, the father of the Malaks. This is, and we just read from Louis, the father of the Kohanim. Now, some would say he's not even the father of the Kohanim. You probably have to go back to Melchizedek. But at the end of the day, from him came the line, right? So even they weren't um uh they were held to the instructions as well. And they got punished where punishment was needed, where the instruction was not kept. Like he said in 9, and the master rewarded me. You gonna get a reward? You get a reward. You get a reward for obedience. You're gonna get a reward for disobedience. It said, and now, my children, I say unto you, be not drunk with wine, for wine turneth the mind away from the truth, and inspires the passion of lust, and leadeth the eyes into error. We just read earlier about the eyes and about being blinded to transgression and being made callous to sin. We just read about that earlier. Well, no, it said being blinded to ungodliness. He is telling you wine or being drunk with wine will cause you to be blind. Right? Leadeth the eyes into error. For the spirit of fornication hath wine as a minister, mediator, servant, right? Guider, right? That's what a priest is supposed to be, a guider, a minister. The hey, behold, reveal. Said fornication hath wine for a servant, to give pleasure to the mind. For these two also take away the mind of a man. That's not wise. We just read about wisdom, how we ought to hold on to it, how we ought to keep it, and how that will be our esteem among the nations, that we have it. And when you don't got it, you're going to be a joke among the nations. For if a man drink wine to drunkenness, it disturbeth the mind with filthy thoughts, leading to fornication, and heateth the body to a carnal union. And if the occasion of the lust be present, he worketh the sin and is not ashamed. That's what happened to the Luim, ain't it? But they was drunk with power. Okay, this drunkenness of any sort, has these characteristics: drunk with power, drunk with fear, drunk with lust, drunk with envy, drunk with hate, any kind of drunkenness, which we might do a study on drunkenness too, because it's got to be a pretty powerful word as well. But it causes this cutoff of wisdom, a cutoff of understanding, a cutoff of consideration, right? And whenever you are cut off from these things, you cut off from understanding. That means you're not going to understand. You cut off from wisdom. That means you're going to be foolish. There is nothing good that comes from that. Let's say, cut me off from wisdom. I don't want to know nothing. Cut me off from understanding. I don't want to understand. Like, that's crazy. Just think about it. Think about it in those terms. You cut off a great gap between me and thee. Such is the inebriated man, my children, for he who is drunken reverenceth no man. For lo, it made me also to err, so that I was not ashamed of the multitude in the city, and in that before the eyes of all I turned aside unto tomorrow. That man said he hit that thing outside, didn't he? Said of the multitude of the city. And I wrought a great sin, and I uncovered the covering of my sons' shame. This is also a commandment of the Most High not to do. After I had drunk wine, I reverenced not the commandment of the Creator, and I took a woman of Canaan to wife. For as much discretion, see, a lot of people act like, the law of Moses, and all this old stuff. Moses is the one that talked about, well, no, hold on. You can go all the way back to Noah with the Canaanite thing, but uh he did expound about marrying Canaanites and whatnot. But this law existed before Moshe, right? Moshe expounded about clean and unclean animals, but the law existed before Moshe. Noah had to separate the clean and unclean animals on the ark. So when people talk about this doing away of the law of Moshe, and we not under the law of Moshe, you got to understand that this is not Moshe's law. I just wanted to point that out because a lot of people they be saying stuff and it really is not contextual. For much discretion needeth the man who drinketh wine, my children, and herein is discretion in drinking wine. A man may drink wine so long as he preserveth his modesty. I know y'all probably heard me say this on the podcast. This is where I get it from, okay? From Yehuda, my Abba, right? But if he go beyond his limit, the spirit of deceit attacketh his mind, and maketh the drunkard to talk filthily, and to transgress, and not to be ashamed, but even to esteem in his shame, and to account himself honorable. Ain't this what the sons of Louis did? And they didn't even say they was drunk with wine. It was drunk with power. He that committeth fornication is not aware when he suffers loss, and is not ashamed when put to dishonor. Not only that, they seek to dishonor others, like the Luim did. Not only are they not going to do good, they're going to hate them that do it. For even though a man be a king and commit fornication, he is stripped of his kingship by becoming the slave of fornication, as I myself also suffered. For I gave myself staff, that is, the stay of my tribe. For I gave my staff, that is, the stay of my tribe, and my girdle, that is, my power, and my diadem, that is, the esteem of my Malkuth. Now, he gave his power to a woman. We're going to go to that Proverbs 31 in a minute. She hit a lot of these same things. And I wonder if her possibly reading this is what made her say what she said. Because if you think about it, in Proverbs 31, she starts off by telling her son, let's go there real quick. She started off by telling her son pretty much the exact same thing that Judah's saying. Let's go there. Let's go there real quick. We'll come back, finish off that Judah, and we'll be done. So Proverbs 31. So where we going? The words of King Lemuel, the prophecy of his mother that his mother taught him. What, my son, and what? The son of my womb, and what? The son of my vows. Give not thy strength unto women. Don't do what Judah did. See what Judah did? See what Judah did? I gave my staff, that is the staff of my tribe, my girdle, that is my power, and my diadem, that is the esteem of my kingdom. Gave it to a woman. Give not thy strength unto women, nor the ways to which destroyeth kings. Judah just told you what destroyed kings. It is not for kings, O Lemuel, it is not for kings to drink wine, nor for princes to drink strong drink. Why? Because of all the reasons Yehuda just told you about. Lest they drink and forget the law. What did he just tell you? Drinking to make you do? Make you forget the law and pervert the judgment of the afflicted. That's what it caused him to do, pervert his judgment. He knew he wasn't supposed to be sleeping with that woman. That drink made him do it. Give strength, give strong drink unto him that is ready to perish, and wine unto those that be of heavy hearts. Let him drink and forget his poverty, and remember his misery no more. Open thy mouth unto the dumb in the cause of all such as are appointed to destruction. Open thy mouth for the dumb in the cause of all that are appointed to destruction. Open thy mouth, judge righteously. This is what a king's supposed to do. We kings, we priests. Well, what you supposed to do as a king? Open thy mouth, judge righteously, and plead the cause of the poor and needy. Who could find a virtuous woman? Well, it gets off into something else. But I would say that these characteristics of this virtuous woman is also the characteristics of a virtuous king. But we're going to continue on to that Judah. Close this thing on out. Verse 21. And indeed, I repented of all these things. Wine and flesh I eat not until my old age. Eat? Well, that's not eat. Eat not until my old age, nor did I behold any joy. And the Malak of Yah showed me that forever do women bear rule over king and beggar alike. That's what the prophet said in that contest. And I was like, what is the strongest thing in the world? Something like that. It said one said money, one said power, whatever. One said women. So he was right on point. He was right on point with it. And he said, showed me that forever do women bear rule over king and beggar alike. And from the king, they take away his esteem, and from valiant men his might, and from the beggar, even the little, which is the stay of his poverty. So we see King Lemuel's mother was on point. You know, watch them. Watch them women. They'll get you. It's a woman saying it too. Observe, therefore, my children, the right limit in wine, for there are in it 4 evil spirits of lust, of hot desire, of profligacy, of filthy lucre. If ye drink wine in gladness, be ye modest in the fear of the Most High. For if in your gladness the fear of the Most High departed, then drunkenness arises, and shamelessness stealeth in. But if ye would live soberly, do not touch wine at all, lest ye sin in the words of outrage. This is more so what King Lemuel's mother uh was on. Don't drink it at all. Just leave it alone. Lest ye sin in words of outrage, and in fightings and slanderers and transgressions of the commandments of the Most High, and ye perish before your time. Moreover, wine revealeth the mysteries of the Most High and men, even as I also reveal the commandments of the Most High and the mysteries of Jacob my father to the Canaanitish woman Bathsheba. Now notice, like I said, you could be drunk with a lot of things. This is what happened to Samson. He was drunk. Uh, he could have been drunk with a number of things. Lust, for the woman, uh, irritation, frustration with the woman, right? He was drunk with it, intoxicated, inebriated to the point to where it made him do things he wouldn't do otherwise. And he revealed his secrets to this woman, and it caused his destruction. He gave her his strength, which the Most High bade me not to reveal. And wine is the cause both of war and confusion. And now I command you, my children, not to love money, nor to gaze upon the beauty of women, because for the sake of money and beauty I was led astray to Bathsheba the Canaanite. For I know that because of these two things shall my race fall into wickedness. For even wise men among my sons shall they mar, and shall cause the kingdom of Yehuda to be diminished. That's what happened to King David. That's what happened to King David, looking upon a beautiful woman. Got him. She must have been bad too. She had to have been something else. Make that man make that man drunk. Which the master gave me because of my obedience to my father. Hold on. For wise men among my sons shall they mar, and shall cause the kingdom of Yehuda to be diminished, which the master gave me because of my obedience to my Abba. See, he got Baruch for his obedience, and then he got cursed for his disobedience. You see? You have before you good and evil, Tub and Rasha. For I never caused grief to Jacob my father, for all the things whatsoever he commanded I did. And Isaac, the father of my father, Baruch me to be king over Yasharal, and Jacob further Baruch me in like manner. And I know that from me shall the kingdom be established. And I know that what evils ye will do in the last days. Beware therefore, my children, of fornication and the love of money. Hearken to Yehuda your father, Judah your father, for these things withdraw all from the law of the Most High, and blind the inclination of the soul, and teach arrogance, and suffer not a man to have compassion upon his neighbor. They rob his soul of all tubeness, and oppress him with toils and troubles, and drive away sleep from him, and devour his flesh. And he hindereth the sacrifices of the Most High, and he remembereth not the barakah of the Most High. He hearkeneth not to the prophet when he speaketh, and resenteth the words of godliness or reverency. They don't want to hear about nobody even talking about the Most High, because it reminds them of his guilt. You know, the people you go around, you try to preach to, and man, I don't want to hear all that, man. I ain't got time to hear all that. They drunk. You know what they drunk with? Sin, disobedience, hate, envy, slothfulness, whole bunch of spirits that can get you drunk, make you unmindful, irreverent. Well, it tell you, for he is a slave to two contrary passions, and cannot obey the Most High, because they have blinded his soul, and he walketh in the day as in the night, groping at the wall at noonday. My children, the love of money leadeth to idolatry, because when led astray through money, men name as mighty ones those that are not mighty ones, and causeth him who hath it to fall into madness. And for the sake of money I lost my children, and had not my repentance and my humiliation and the prayers of my father been accepted, I should have died childless. And the mighty one of my fathers had kindness on me, because I did it in ignorance. And the prince of deceit blinded me, and I sinned as a man, and as flesh being corrupted through sins. And I learnt my own wickedness while thinking myself invincible. Know therefore, my children, that two spirits wait upon man, the spirit of truth and the spirit of deceit. And in the midst is the spirit of understanding of the mind, to which it belongeth to turn whithersoever it will. And the works of the truth and the works of deceit are written upon the hearts of men, and each one of them the master knoweth. And there is no time at which the works of men can be hid, for the heart itself have they been written down before the master. And the spirit of truth testifieth all things and accuseth all, and the sinner is burnt up by his own heart and cannot raise his face to judge. Todaya, Todaya. That's what we got. That's what we got. What you got there, Aki? A bun. I hope I didn't lose nobody, man.
No, you ain't lost. I was in the restroom, brother. My bad, man. I didn't know.
Nah, that's cool. I just something else happened with the camera and all that. I just ain't know if anything had happened because of that or whatever. Mic check, mic check. Mic
It
check.
sounds good. Sound coming through.
Okay. This mic has been irritating me the whole stream, man. But anyway, that's what we got, y'all. That's what it is. Told y'all. I hope y'all got something from it. The understanding of what a king or a malak is, and a priest or a kohan is, according to scripture. Hope you got it. Hope you get it. And I hope you considered, been uplifted, been builded up. If it was any false way, any kind of false understanding in you, I hope it's been torn down. And I hope honor and esteem is given to my Abba, Shamayim. So be it. Toraya, Toraya. But if my Ak ain't got anything on it, I'm gonna close out. So like I said, all praise to the Most High. Thanks to His Ben Yahushua HaMashiach. And until next time, it's 12 tribes, one nation. Toraya.